In this video we're going to look at writing the equations of lines. You may want to consider hitting pause from time to time to write down some of the information before I start talking about it. So we're looking at some different forms here. The first form is what we call slope-intercept form. This is of the form y equals mx plus b. You're most familiar with this form. Of course, m is our slope and b is the y-intercept. The y-intercept occurs when x is 0. Okay. Next we have what we call point-slope form. If we have a point that is on the line and if we know the slope, then it is handy to use this form of an equation. Notice that it does not require us to know the y-intercept. So usually I like to draw in these three boxes here. These represent what we have to fill in. Notice we have a y minus, we also have an x minus on the other side. So x sub 1 comma y sub 1 represents a point on the line, and we'll see an example of this in a little bit, and m is still our slope. Notice we don't know or need the y-intercept. Next we have what we call standard or general form. Once an equation is in either point-slope form or slope-intercept form, we can rearrange the terms to express it in what we call standard form. Now, usually this will show up on a multiple choice question on AP, where if they ask you to write the equation of a line in a certain example, they may not leave the final answer in y equals form. You might have to move some terms around. So we have ax plus by equals c. Understand that a, b, and c are constants. They're just numbers. X and y are our main variables, of course. Then we have just a quick refresher. If we're talking about a vertical line, which of course is up and down, that is always going to be expressed as x equals. Horizontal line, side to side, east to west, that's always going to be y equals. Here's a quick example. Take a moment please to write it down. We're talking about a line and passes through the point 2 comma 3, and we know that the slope of the line is 4. We're looking to write an equation. So we're going to express this in multiple forms. Okay. They don't tell us specifically which form to leave it in. Now notice we don't know the y-intercept, so we're not going to use our slope-intercept form. Instead, we are going to use our point-slope form. So this is where we create this template. You don't have to put the boxes there, but I like to, just as a reminder to fill them in. Well, we're looking at the point 2, 3, so 2 is x sub 1 and 3 is y sub 1. So my 3, the y value, goes in that first box. The 2, which is the x value, goes in that last box. And my slope of 4 goes in that middle box. So this is one form. This is the final answer if we were asked to leave it in point-slope form. But usually you're not going to see that as an answer choice. Usually you're going to have to distribute and write it in a different form. So if this were multiple choice and all of your answer choices were in y equals form, you'd have to go further with it. So if I add over that 3, we end up with y equals 4x minus 5. And finally, if that doesn't show up as an answer choice and multiple choice, you might have to express it in standard or general form. So this is where the x term comes first. So we would have to subtract over that 4x term. Then we'd have our y term, and then the constant of negative 5 would be all alone on that side. So it's just a matter of rearranging your terms. So you have the x, then the y, then the equals, and then your constant.